So this is originally for my mom to kind of help out with the transition to Aeries, but she also expressed that maybe other people need help, so I am putting it on the webs for you guys to hopefully use it if you need it. I'm using a new program, so bear with me. Also, I realized that a lot of the content was content that I couldn't put on the internet because it's kids' names, so I'm using a new program to blur out everything that is something that should not be shared with the world. Also, so my mom mentioned that the transition from Power School to Aeries may be a little confusing and scary. I want to say I've used both systems. When I was working at Laguna, I used Power School, and now for the past 2 years I've been using Aeries, and I love Aeries. I think the only thing that is daunting about Aeries is that there's a lot. And so sometimes if you're not taught all of it, it can be a little overwhelming, but ultimately there's so much you can do with it, and it is so interlinked with Google that it's really nice, especially for distance learning. So, yeah. All right, so let's see if I can switch back. Okay, so when you go log on to Aeries, it's gonna look like this. I have my old school one that is from last year. You can see that right there in 2019 to 2020. That's the year. If you click on that, you can get any year you have or taught. And so it's nice if you need to go back a couple years to find a student. Here as well, you can see that you can search students. It's super easy and accessible. The main page that I use is Pages, which it's currently on right now right there. And we are just at the home screen. And so from the home screen, if you click on this attendance, wrong way, that arrow, this attendance one, you'll get a screen that looks like this. My district is super rad because they added a few things, and so they added this right here. So it shows, okay, who has an IEP or 504? What is their language? Are they reclassified? Do they speak English? A different language learner? It's really helpful. And any health alerts. If your district doesn't have that, you can always ask them to add that on for you. The A and F are a bit different. Usually it's just absent or here, but because of distance learning, it was a little bit changed. And let's say at the very top, you see, okay, there's a date and there's a period and all my kids are here and I don't have to go clicking through like everyone's here or whatnot. I've also made the mistake of just not clicking anything because no one's absent. So why do we need to click anything? But you have to click this button right here. All students are present, or else it will say that you didn't take attendance for that period, and it's kind of a bother, but it's pretty cool because it shows you every kid's name, their student ID number, permanent ID, and then just a bunch of different information. You can see also when they've been absent, and a whole bunch of other different information on the side. All right, continuing on from here, now I'm going to show you, I'm really bad with these arrows, sorry, attendance by photo olds on the left. To be perfectly honest with you, I don't know the difference between the new one and the old one. I use the old one because it works out really well for me. So attendance by photo old, when you click it, you'll get a grid. It won't look like this. Yours will be a blank grid and you'll have students off to the side right here and you'll have to fill out your grid. But because my tables are in groups, as you can see by the lovely blurred faces, I could put kids in different spots and you can actually take attendance from this page. There'll be a little A and F, absent or tardy, or A, yeah, F is not, yeah, sorry, distance learning, put an F, is absence or tardy right next to the image. And so I don't actually take roll from the other attendance page. I just take it from my seating chart, and it helps if you have a co-teacher or if you have a para or if you have a sub or something. It is faces along with the ability to take attendance from here. All right, let's see what I have next for you. All right, so going on the left-hand side, if you look, we're going to be clicking on Gradebook. Now, the difference between Gradebook and Grades, Gradebook is what you put all your assignments into and actually the kids will end up getting. Grades is when your district says, all right, the quarter grades are due or the semester grades are due, and that is when you upload grades to there. Because right now there is no system open for that, it's pointless for me to show you because you need it to be an open access period for you to upload grades, and I can make a video later for that. So if you click on Gradebook, it will look like something like this. This is my last year's class schedule, and I made everything. So all of these names right here, I made them all. This was all me. I did it. I like putting the number of the period, and then I named the classes exactly what I wanted, simply for everything that I needed. When on here, the most important part that you're gonna need is to add a gradebook. Yours will be blank, and every year will be blank. Add gradebook. So this is the button I'm clicking on next. Oh, I lied. I totally lied. I'm not clicking on that button next. I am clicking on, ignore that. Completely ignore that. I apologize. I am clicking on class right there. I totally lied. So sorry. Clicking on class. When you go to class, this is what it looks like. This was at the end of the year last year after distance learning, so there's tons of assignments. But in class, as you can see, on the left-hand side, that's all blurred out, are students' names and their numbers, and you can see their grades right here. At the very bottom, if you scroll down, you can see a class average, which is pretty rad. And each of these are individual assignments. I will do a later video on how to add assignments and more about the gradebook, but right now, this is just an overview. Orange means that the grading was complete. I put all the grades in and checked a box saying grading is complete, and this orange box right here lets the students know, hey, you're missing this. This is like work that was due, and it also lets you know, like, hey, I recognize this student did not do anything the week that they were probably supposed to. So it's kind of a nice check for you and for parents and kids to know, all right, what is going on? As you can see right here, this little light green box, it means that the score is above the score that you put in. So let's say it was out of 5, this kid got out of 7, meaning that it was actually above what they potentially could have even gotten. All right, now moving on to what I said right here, the add gradebook. If you click that, it will end up taking you to this screen. Now, it may be a little hard to see, but it is basically pretty straightforward. Up here, you can put in whatever name you want for your gradebook. So I usually put the number of the period where the little number sign is, and then whatever name you want. If you teach marine bio, history, world history, Renaissance history, anything, art, advanced art. And then because I teach terms and I don't teach the grades are due each semester, I always recommend clicking fall or spring, whatever works for you. If it's a year-long class, click year. And then down here will be what your classes are. Those will already be there because you'll have a class assignment. And so let's say I'm doing first period, I click write first period, whatever I want to do right here, and then click, all right, this is what I want to import it from. So all the kids will be added from that, and it would be linked to this class that you're assigned. For the sake of this video, I made one, and it says demo for the peeps, fall term, and you can see teacher prep periods, this gradebook I was making, and then you click save. And once you click save, it will kind of come to this screen. Really important to note that these are wonderful helpers right here. There we go. These are wonderful helpers. This is how you do a lot of things in your gradebook. Edit gradebook was where we're at. Now we're at options. Super cool side fact about options. Didn't know this, but absolutely love it and doing it forever. It is really cool that you have the ability to, right here, scale minimum and max. You have the ability to, if you check this box, meaning that right here, minimum average, no matter what a kid gets, even if a kid gets a 2% on a test, the gradebook will automatically make it no less than 50. For distance learning, I find this to be a tool that I am going to be utilizing because there's no point. A kid's failing at 50, they're failing, and I want them to be able to see that they have a chance at getting back their grade, even if they're so far gone, because you never know. That one kid, that one day or week or month had a really bad week or month, and especially with distance learning, and I want them to feel like they have a chance of actually making it in the class. And so this minimum assignment value is really rad, so no matter what score they get, they can never get worse than a 50, which is still failing, but kind of cool. Other things to play around with, explore. That's really the only thing I ever touch. Moving on to the tab of categories right there. We click categories. It says in this nice blue, little light blue box above, if linking gradebooks, you must do so before adding categories. Super important. I messed up one year and it really sucked. So linking gradebooks. I teach 3 subjects. I teach a marine biology, an integrated science 1, and then a co-taught integrated science 1. I don't want to put in assignments for every single class, right? So I want my 2 marine biology classes to be linked together. And so if you see right above this nice blue box, it says link gradebooks. Really important to do before you put your categories. All right, linking gradebooks. What in the world that means? As you can see, my lovely demo for the peeps is right there, the gradebook I added. Whatever number you assign, it does not matter. Whatever number you assign is the gradebooks that will be linked together. So I wanted my second period and my sixth period to be linked together because they're both my honors. I wanted my third and my fourth period to be linked together because they're both co-taught. And then this is for spring term and spring term, so this is fall. So it's the whole year here, but you add a number for whatever, let's say you teach 2 AP in environmentals, you're gonna just want to add the same number for them. If you don't add a number at all, it's a no group and it won't be linked together. But kind of play around with that. Some more instructions are up here, but super important to link them together before doing your categories. All right, back to categories. Once you push save, it will take you back. I am just showing you a picture of what I did. I do weighted scores. If you don't do weighted scores, you can click that. But as you can see here, all of the percentages add up to 100. You can type in whatever name you want as well for these categories. This is just the categories I use and the percentages I have. You can put bright colors because when you are right here, if you notice this bright green, well, let's go back. Bright green is my tests and quizzes. So kind of as a double check to make sure that you know what categories you're in. And it's nice because even if you're not doing weighted, you have tests, quizzes, projects, all these categories, whatnot. You guys are teachers, you know. All right, assignments up here on the top again where the arrow is clicking. Assignments is really not important for starting your gradebook. It is something that we'll talk about later, so don't worry about it. We're gonna go next to, ooh, I can delete things. We're gonna go next to manage students. So the next one is manage students. I blurred out my students for safety reasons, but when you first have your gradebook, you won't have any kids in here. It will be a nice big red box or something up here where this is saying add students. You're gonna be like, why do I have no students? It's because you have to add the students. Super annoying. And every new kid, you have to add them here. So just be aware that manage students is not what it's gonna look like for you because these are my students from last year, and you'll have a blank page and a big button saying add students if you have students yet. Let's see what I have next. I think I went over to final marks. Just a cool thing that, you know, whatever your district recommends for the grades, if you do something different for whatever your class is, you can change the percentages in here. Pretty rad. Up above here, there's a whole bunch of other goodies on the right-hand side that I have no idea what they do, so I'm not going to do anything with them. But that is just an introduction in how to do a gradebook. Super easy peasy. Play around with it, make one, delete one, super rad, and don't be worried about your students because once you have the students, you can click that button, but not until then. So I hope you enjoyed this video and stay classy.